There are people who win the lottery, and there are people who are born with luck. And then there are people like 13-year-old Liam, who created an entire business empire from a school science project. It all started with a simple task from his science teacher who wanted them to come up with a biodegradable alternative to plastic. But while the other kids built volcanoes out of baking soda and vinegar, or maybe made slime, Liam spent his time coming up with something truly special. Well, to him at least, because the stuff smelled so bad that his mother almost threw him out of the house. Yet despite the pungent smell wafting throughout her home, she allowed Liam to continue working on his project. So she must have seen something special in it too, because soon enough, Liam's hard work paid off. At first, he ended up with a strange smelling goo, but after letting it sit for a few days, it hardened into a firm, flexible film that looked a lot like plastic wrap. And if that was the end of it, Liam would have been one of many students with a great science project that went nowhere. But thankfully, his teacher didn't let that happen because she posted pictures of Liam's project on a local education blog. And luckily for Liam, it caught the eye of one person in particular, someone who could change his life forever. She was a partner at an early-stage startup accelerator called Masculinge, whose mission was to help young entrepreneurs turn their ideas into reality. And although she'd never heard of bioplastic before, she saw something special in Liam and quickly brought him under the wing of her organization. Next thing Liam knew, he was surrounded by mentors who helped him improve his product and find a manufacturer. And the day was fast approaching where he could finally present his project to the world. But first, he had to deal with one small problem. He hadn't thought of a name yet. Thankfully, though, his mentor helped him come up with one, OMI, which stood for Order of Magnitude, a term used to describe how much better OMI's bioplastics were compared to traditional plastics. With a name, logo, and prototype in hand, it was time to reveal Liam's amazing invention to the world. And what a reveal it was. He presented his product to a panel of judges who were impressed by the fact that it was made from waste products, durable and completely biodegradable. And because of that, Omi won second place in Mass Challenge's annual pitch day, taking home $10,000 in prize money, but Liam's troubles were far from over. In fact, they were just beginning because his next investor was none other than the founder of Method Products, a multi-million-dollar company specializing in eco-friendly cleaning supplies. As soon as he got the call from the investor, Liam immediately dropped everything to fly out and meet with him. And upon learning about Omi, the founder immediately offered him a deal that he couldn't refuse. After months of working with the team at Method, Liam signed a licensing deal that gave them the rights to use his technology across their product lines. And just like that, Omi became the talk of the town, with media outlets lining up to get an interview with the young prodigy. Within weeks, everyone from National Geographic to CNN was covering his amazing story. And suddenly, his inbox was filled with offers from all kinds of major companies who wanted to get in on the action. But the biggest offer came from one company in particular, Novamont, a global leader in developing sustainable packaging solutions. And when they offered Liam a multi-million-dollar deal, he knew he was officially a businessman. Now 13 years old and already worth millions, Liam was being treated like a rock star wherever he went. He attended industry events, shook hands with top executives, and even met with government officials, all before most kids his age had even finished elementary school. At this point, it seemed like nothing could stop Liam from taking over the world. And then his father died. Suddenly, Liam found himself spiraling out of control. He stopped going to school, barely spoke a word to anyone, and spent his days locked in his room. Despite their best efforts, no one could reach him, not his mother, not his friends, and especially not his therapist. But slowly, very slowly, Liam began to emerge from his room once again. Of course, he was still sad about losing his father, but he knew he needed to pull himself together. If he didn't, he'd be letting down not only himself, but everyone who believed in him. So, with a newfound sense of determination, Liam vowed to make his father proud and carry on his legacy. Yet, for the sake of his own well-being, he also knew he needed to take a step back. Although Liam had always loved his invention and the positive impact it was having on the world, he was getting burned out. On top of that, he wasn't making as much money as he originally thought. Between paying his employees and investing in R&D, his company was barely breaking even. And with investors growing impatient, Liam knew he needed to pick things up or risk losing everything. So he took a break from school and spent the summer working on Omi full-time. To his surprise, though, it wasn't nearly as fun as he thought it would be. Not only was it a lot more work than he expected, but Liam was also dealing with a lot of growing pains. As Omi got bigger, he struggled to keep up with demand and maintain quality control. And even though he had a great team, sometimes Liam felt like he was the only one holding the company back. But instead of letting these feelings overwhelm him, Liam decided to embrace them. He realized that if he really wanted Omi to succeed, he needed to become a better leader, manager, and overall businessman. So during the summer, he took courses on everything from accounting to marketing, all while continuing to oversee operations at Omi. And by the end of the summer, he felt like a completely different person. Not only had he learned a lot about business, but he'd also developed a new sense of maturity and responsibility. He realized that being a CEO wasn't just about giving talks and shaking hands, but rather making tough decisions that impacted the lives of dozens of people. At the same time, though, he also knew he didn't want to sacrifice his childhood for his business, so he came up with a compromise. He agreed to attend high school and take classes on entrepreneurship and engineering, while at the same time maintaining his role as CEO of Omi. This way, he could continue to grow his business without sacrificing his education or personal life. In the years that followed, Liam grew both Omi and himself. Under his leadership, Omi became the go-to source for biodegradable packaging, supplying major brands like Pepsi with fully compostable bottles. Meanwhile, Liam became known as the Wunderkind CEO, traveling around the world to speak at conferences and meet with government officials. Yet through it all, Liam never forgot where he started. In fact, after signing his licensing deal with Method, he used some of his money to buy books for every kid in his school, believing that education was the key to unlocking everyone's potential. Looking back, Liam realized that his success wasn't just about the money or the fame, but rather the opportunity to make a positive impact on the world. From saving the environment to inspiring other kids to pursue their passions, Liam knew that his future was limitless. And the craziest part? Even though he was now worth tens of millions, Liam still thought the coolest part of it all was beating his big brother at their school science fair. As for what's next, Liam is still figuring it out. But one thing's for sure, whatever he does, he'll do it his way, with passion, creativity, and a whole lot of heart. After all, this is the kid who turned his science project into a multi-million-dollar empire. So who knows what he'll come up with next? Now watch The Richest Kids in the World, or check out what S inside Jeff Bezos' $787 billion fortune.